The US government has sent Mexico a list of at least 15 non-tariff trade barriers. One of the sticking points is surprisingly cheese. Mexico imports its cheese mainly from the United States. However, the EU-Mexico agreement would extend a lot of protections for European cheeses and restrict the names that American producers are allowed to use on their labels. The United States has long defended the use of what it calls common names for cheeses. So these are labels such as Manchego, such as Parmesan, which are products that it exports into Mexico. The EU, however, defends the names of cheeses originally from some of its countries as protected denominations of origin. So, for example, they say that Parmigiano Reggiano can only be produced in certain regions of Italy, that Feta can only be produced in some parts of Greece. So US cheese exporters say that it's confusing for consumers to read a label that says something like imitation Feta or Asiago-style cheese when their cheese is essentially the same, and they say this is hurting their sales. European producers, however, argue that the cheeses made in the US are completely different, that they have no way of controlling the quality, and that if cheeses are sold under these labels, it's impacting their own brands. The numbers suggest that even with the agreement as it is, it wouldn't be a big financial hit to the US. However, US exporters are clearly worried about this. So after this trade deal with the EU, Mexico will benefit from cheaper European cheeses because there won't be these high tariff barriers on so many of its cheeses. And European producers are also hoping that they'll be able to raise their sales abroad by exporting more cheese into Mexico, which is after all a big market for cheese.